Hi friends, you are watching 5-Star Developing Research Professionals. In our journey of providing valuable information to you all, today we have another interesting episode wherein we have invited most renowned professor and scientist Dr. Sanjiv Dhingra. Dr. Sanjiv Dhingra is a professor in Max Reddy College of Medicine, University of Manitoba, Winnipeg. He is also director of Canada Italy Tissue Engineering Program at Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences, St. Boniface Hospital and Research Center. His research interests are focused on development of stem cells and biomaterial-based therapies for cardiac regeneration and tissue engineering. Dr. Dhingra has been recognized nationally and internationally for his accomplishments in research. He has also been recognized by American Heart Association in 2012 and Canadian Cardiovascular Society in 2017 for his efforts in the field of cardiac stem cells therapy. He has published several papers in prominent journals. We are fortunate that we got opportunity to interact with such an esteemed personality. He is here to share his thoughts with us. So let us welcome Dr. Dhingra and enjoy the talk. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Sanjiv Dhingra. We have a very well-known research scientist from Canada. He is doing quite a good amount of research work in Canada. So today we are discussing stem cells and clinical trials. He'll put his efforts so that all the students are academic people. They understand what kind of work he is doing. And first of all, I welcome Dr. Sanjiv Dhingra to our show, 5-Star, the Developing Research Professionals. Dr. Sanjiv Dhingra, can you please tell us what you do and what is your research focus?
Okay, thank you. First of all, Dr. Sahil, thank you very much for the opportunity. I must say that I really enjoy talking about research, specifically the kind of research we do. I think it's quite important to discuss and spread the knowledge among each other because we learn from each other.
Yes.
So coming back to what I do, I'm a stem cell biologist. That's how I like to define myself. I'm a professor in the University of Manitoba, Associate Department Head, Physiology and Pathophysiology, and I'm also the director of Canada Italy Tissue Engineering Program. As the name tells, we focus on stem cells and tissue engineering. I'll tell you more about it as the discussion goes on. So the major focus is on cardiovascular disease. We are trying to regenerate the heart muscle after a heart attack. I should say after a damage due to heart attack. So that's what pretty much is the focus. We use different types of stem cells, right from adult to pluripotent stem cells. When I say pluripotent, we mainly focus on induced pluripotent stem cells and embryonic stem cells to some extent. Then coming to tissue engineering, we use different types of biomaterials, mainly to facilitate stem cell delivery to the heart muscle. The focus is we want to understand what happens to these cells after you implant them in the heart. How host immune system reacts towards these cells. So that's what the area of research is.
It's quite interesting. Just for the sake of our students, can you define what is autologous and allogenic stem cells?
So autologous cells are when the source is patient himself or herself. Allogenic is when you take cells from a donor and inject those cells to multiple recipients. I think this is the simplest definition. That's what the question was?
Yes, yes. So what is the difference and what kind of cells you use?
So let me start with where the field started. So you go back 20 years, people started thinking that stem cells have the ability to differentiate into cardiac cells and regenerate the heart muscle. Initial studies were all focusing on autologous cells because it's easy to take cells from patients. There won't be any issues related to host immune response. So those cells kept going. Clinicians and researchers, they thought that yeah, you implant cells in the heart muscle and they'll start the repair process. Based on the encouraging outcome of animal studies, there were several clinical trials conducted with these cells. Again, positive clinical trials, but not as effective as you would see the improvement in preclinical studies. But then people, when we were trying to figure out the reasons for this muted response, uh, the researchers or clinicians in the field, they came up to this conclusion that you need healthy cells to regenerate heart muscle. So that's how the concept of allogenic stem cells came up. Then many researchers, clinicians, translational researchers specifically, who were into clinical research, they started working with allogenic stem cells. You would the situation was that you would transplant cells in the heart, and there is a repair process that gets activated. But these cells, allogenic stem cells, they wouldn't stay in the heart for a long time. Then I thought, okay, why not to figure out the reasons for this poor survival of transplanted stem cells in the heart? So we started working in this direction. We figured out that it is host immune system that rejects these allogenic stem cells and throws them out of the system. So ever since 10 years from now, we started working with allogenic cells. We are still continuing that work. We're trying to figure out the mechanisms of rejection of these cells in the heart. We are also developing strategies to improve survival of these cells once you implant them in the infarcted heart. So that is what the focus is.
So, what kind of students you prefer who wish to come to you? What kind of students you are looking for?
Very good question, because I think students are the driver of any research program. So it's very important to, when you're compiling a research group or you're expanding your research group, you need to have some sort of criteria. So your question is that what kind of students I prefer? Motivated students to begin with, students who are focused, who want to develop a career in clinical research, students who want to solve these clinical problems in not only cardiovascular, in other areas of related to degenerative diseases. So that's what is in my mind when I select students.
So, when you select student, do you look for the clinical research qualification in the process, or you opt for anyone can come and learn in Canada about the clinical research or the other processes also?
Oh, yeah, this is again a very important and relevant question. So, background in clinical research is very, very important. Organizations like yourself are doing, I should say, great job in training students, giving them some sort of platform so that they should be able to fit in nicely in any research program that is focused towards any particular disease. Clinical research, very important. Their experience helps them to do better in wherever they go. So that's what my take is on this.
Okay, so that means that if they are qualified clinical researcher, it will be of benefit to them if they apply to you for the position.
Yeah, if they are trained to certain level, I would definitely prefer those students over those who are naive, who are beginners, because that more than me that helps them. And in that course of training that they do with people like yourself, I think it's the opportunity for them to figure out what they want to do when they go to a specific
Yes.
research program.
Yes,
So it's a win-win situation.
yes. And now come down to back to the what is tissue engineering and how challenges are there in the field?
So tissue engineering is an upcoming area. It is quite interdisciplinary in nature. Basically, you're combining biology with engineering. That's how I like to define it. Why there is a need for tissue engineering? Because some of the biological problems becomes easier when you bring engineering expertise towards this. For example, I said one of the challenges in the area of stem cell therapy is poor survival of allogenic stem cells in the heart. Uh, so you transplant cells, they get rejected by host immune system. What micro and many other researchers in the world are coming up with is that why don't we create a platform using engineering skills and then load stem cells on top and deliver this whole unit to the heart. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is we can create a bandage to fix the wound inside the heart. So this bandage can go, you open the chest, put this bandage on in the wounded area, I mean infarcted area, and this will start the repair process.
This is quite interesting. Is any clinical trial have you done or are in the process about stem cell therapy or tissue engineering?
When it comes to stem cells, there has been lots of clinical trials conducted all over the world. It started in US and Europe, then in Asia, many trials have already been conducted. As I said in the beginning, there is some success related to this whole field when it comes to clinical application of stem cell therapy for cardiac repair. So what we have learned through these clinical trials so far is that stem cells, they are safe. There is potential here. Stem cells, when you inject them, they are able to start the repair process. The other thing that we have learned through basic science studies and clinical trials is that there is a need, critical need, to improve survival of transplanted cells in the heart. So this is the outcome of clinical trials that have been conducted so far.
Where do you see this stem cell from now? What is its present and what is its future? Stem cell therapy.
Future is very bright. I see potential here. Okay, I'm going to be a little philosophical here. So anything, any drug which is now being used for patients, it took 20 years for that drug from day one to reach to clinical practice. So that is what is happening with the whole stem cell field. We have learned a lot through preclinical studies, through basic research, and through clinical trials that there is potential, there is hope there. We need to stay focused. We need to keep working towards this direction, so that we should be able to understand the mechanisms of rejection of transplanted cells in the heart. Once we know the reasons for rejection, we should be able to design clinically relevant strategies to improve survival, and I think that's the way to go. So the future is bright. My take home message for all the students, trainees is clinical research is very important, very relevant. I think this is the way to go. So keep at it, keep learning, keep spreading the knowledge. That's what I would say.
That is quite interesting. We hope our students must have liked the video. If you have liked the video, please share it, subscribe it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.